Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. If you're in the live chat, thank you. Let me know how my microphone is. This is the first time going live this year, so let me know how it's sounding. I'm looking forward just to talking to you guys and talking about last night's game. I'm going to get to the Patreon questions first. What's up, Clint? Yeah, it's the best chat box on the internet. Chiefs Kingdom, what's up, man? Long-time listener. What's up, Zamora? How about them Chargers? The Chargers-Raiders is probably the game I'm looking forward to the most. Dirty Sanchez. Okay, people say the mic's good. Thank you. Thank you, Palmer. Thank you for entering too, my man. What's up? What's up, Key? Appreciate you coming in here. Yeah, send me an email. I'm going to put my email. I'm going to just get to the Patreon questions first, and then I'm going to get people on. Let me just send my email, if it's showing my email. That's if you want to come on. All right, let me get to the Patreon questions first. I actually got a question from my dad, so I'm going to answer this first. So we saw what the Bills did last night, and we saw the Bills absolutely destroy the Rams. And listen, the Rams, they didn't play good at all. They brought like their D- game, but I'm not taking anything away from the Bills. But my dad's question was, he remembers the 89 San Francisco 49ers. They went 14-2. And he said every single week it was a must bet. You would just bet them against the spread. It doesn't matter if it was 13. It doesn't matter if they were on the road and they're minus 4.5. You would just bet them autistically every week and you would win. I was looking at the record. I think they only lost 2 games against the spread all year. So my dad's question is the Bills this year's 89 49ers where they're an automatic bet? I would say no, especially when you look at what the Bills did last year and how they had peaks and valleys and how they played. For me, man, that 49ers team was next level dominant, and they had Hall of Famers on defense. I don't think the Bills have any Hall of Famers on defense. Von Miller probably is, so take that back. But I don't see like the dominance on defense. And the Rams, they weren't able to run the ball yesterday, and that Bills front dominated. That was the story of the game. Like if the Bills front dominates like that every single game, then the Bills will go like 15-2 against the spread. But I'm gonna think more about that. And also, like, I wonder how big are some of these Bills spreads going to be? Like, let's say the Jets are going to Ralph Wilson Stadium or whatever the hell they call it now. Are the Jets going to be like plus 19? You remember last year what the Bills did against the Jags? Like, I think this could be a dominant year. Like, I could see the Bills going 12-5 against the spread, but nothing crazy like the 49ers when they were 14-2, which is insane against the spread. 14-2 is insane. But the Bills looked insane last night. They made, 4 colossal mistakes in the game, and they still won easy. And I don't think we should discount the Rams. I don't think we should panic on the Rams at any point because the Rams looked like shit a lot last year. Let's be real. I was about the only one left on that Rams bandwagon when the playoffs started. Yeah, I actually agree with what what you guys are saying. Bills are a little bit streaky. That 49ers team could they could pound you or they could sling it on you. We know the Bills can throw it with the best of them. I just don't know if they're going to be able to pound someone when they need to. Like Patriots game last year when it was 50-mile-per-hour winds. And yeah, Tony, I actually completely agree. That's why I think Odell's coming. I think he's coming back like week 8. Whenever his injury gets healed, I think they're having him back. So that was a really good question to start with, and that's one thing we have to think about. Because if you like the Bills, though, you just have to stay consistent no matter what the number is. Because, like, of course, Vegas is going to adjust. Like, the 89 49ers, like, Rams, they were -7. Denver, the last game of the year, they were -13. -10.5 against the Atlanta Falcons when the Atlanta Falcons were actually decent. Like, Vegas adjusted and they still were covering double-digit point spread. So Vegas is going to adjust on the Bills. And like, remember last year when we got the Colts +7 in a money pick? I think we're going to see some of those things. Like I said, 12-5, 11-6 against the spread. And plus the lines are moving like crazy now. It's just in this day and age. All right, let me get to the Patreon questions. I want to thank everyone for coming in here. I would not touch Oakland money line. I got a lot of those questions. I would not touch Oakland money line or Chargers money line. I'm just watching that game. Like, for me, I don't know what the hell's going to happen in that game. I'm not saying it's like a degenerate game, like it's back in the Jets at Falcons or anything like that. I just don't know what the hell's going to happen. That's where I'm at. That's the one game I have more questions than answers for this week. You guys can let me know what you guys think about that game. So let me get to the Patreon questions. Dion Conley says, Lawson moving lines. Yeah, dude, I got during this offseason, there's a company called Pinnacle. They're responsible for 70 to 80% of every single spread you see on whatever website you're betting on, or a lot of Vegas places, a lot of Vegas locales that you can bet on in person. So this is a company that is responsible for 70, 80% of the lines. And I actually did get a message from the guy who was the head odds maker. And I just sent him a question. I'm like, listen, like, are we moving lines? And honestly, we are moving lines. And this week was just really frustrating because week one, you would think the lines wouldn't move. Yes, when they open in like fucking March after the draft, yeah, you're going to get some line movement. Like, Saints opened at -3, popped up to -5.5 by the time we got our hands on it. Like, I understand that. That's not something I'm affecting, but I get really frustrated every day after the Tuesday show. Literally, like 3 hours afterwards, at 3 hours afterwards, they move spreads. And I'm going to adjust to it on Patreon this year. I really have to adjust to it. I put in 2 games early this week, and I'm going to have to put in some different games tonight because there was 2 I was looking at, but the spread movement was ridiculous. I don't want to come on here and complain, but I got really pissed off that spreads were moving during fucking week one. Like, it gets frustrating. And then the rationale they gave me, there is one whale or sharp. I don't like the term sharp, but they call him a sharp, and he watches the show, and then he just goes in on Tuesday and then just floods it. And they use that as a consultancy fee, so they don't mind him winning. Like, that's why when the Tuesday money picks, there is a little bit of an advantage because you're getting to before the line movement. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to address. I've been meaning to address that all off season, so I'm going to adjust to it. Bets will be up earlier on Patreon. You guys know I would do it if I knew line movement was coming 1 or 2 games a week, but I'm going to have to start doing it more often. Okay. Nicholas Vincent, who would you take for Survivor this week? Best gambling show on the internet. Okay. Survivor is complicated, but I would probably go with one. I would probably go with one that is a little bit riskier. I would go Denver against Seattle. Denver against Seattle. That's not all that risky. And if you really want to get crazy, I would look at this Bengals to beat the Steelers. Like, I think the Steelers are going to be more competitive than people think, but I think the Bengals come out and win that game. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's get to it. This is from P. Lawson. Jags line moved down to +2.5. That's just another thing that really pissed me off. Was 3.5 before I said anything about the game. Are we comfortable taking them with points or money line? Also have questions about the Tampa Bay Cowboys game. I'm laying off that Jags game now. There's just not that much value with it moving down to 2.5. And about the Tampa Bay Cowboys game, seems sketchy to me. Might be a trap line for the Bucs. I'm worried about the interior of the Bucs, but I don't know if it's all that big a trap game because the Cowboys are very popular. And about the Jags game, that was fine at like +3.5, but when it's getting down to +2.5, that people are saying the Jags are a better team than Commanders. We haven't seen the Jags do anything for real, man. So I would lay off that game. I like the Bucs against the Cowboys. The line movement, I don't know. I don't know. It's always been bad, but like anyone who's followed this podcast 3 or 4 years knows after I do the picks on Tuesday, 3 hours later, they move. Especially on games I like. So I'm not trying to have an inflated self-importance, but I do have 18,000 subscribers. And for a long time, this was a small community. Yeah, we got a lot of casual bettors now who are just doing it because they see a commercial. But, some guys like getting at me, like saying I'm like having like paranoid self-delusions. No, I heard it. And also there's evidence. And I also have people who are literally autistic who follow this show and they were watching this for 2 or 3 years. I didn't believe it until week 12 last year. So that's where I'm at. Okay. What's up, Dre, on Patreon? This is from RJ88. Glad to see we are going to be having a Friday show again this year. Let's get this money, Lawson. What's up, RJ? Yeah. It's going to be fun, man. Okay, Donnie the sports guy says, is it worth a shot with Lamar Jackson's contract distraction coupled with Flacco revenge for a small Jets money line play? I think the Jets are going to be more I think the Jets are going to be more competitive than people think, but I wouldn't pick them to win that game. If I had to throw an upset out, a long shot, it would not be that game. Like, let me actually look at the lines again and see which upset I do like. Man, I would more or less go with, like, I actually think the Texans have a better chance to win, as crazy as that sounds, or the Cardinals have a better chance to win. And that Cardinals game, look at the line movement on that Cardinals game. It's just this week. Super chat from MB41. I appreciate it, my man. $10 donation. The narrative that the Rams were flat is way overblown. The McVay-led Rams were 5-0 in Week 1 games heading into last night. Also, Super Bowl champs have a winning record, 45-11 in openers. Yeah, but, bro, at the end of the day, it's what happens on Sunday. It's what happens on Sunday. So we're supposed to say the Bills are the best team since like the 91 Cowboys because they blew out a team in Week 1. Like, I saw the Bills with Drew Bledsoe blow out a defending champion New England Patriots like 40-0 live in person Week 1 before. Guess what happened? Patriots won the Super Bowl. I mean, it gets to that point, and it's just going off trends. Just going off trends, that's all well and good, but it's when you step on the field, what's going to happen? And the Rams weren't ready. And Rams are going to have some issues, man. I didn't think they would come out that bad. But what do you want me to say? Like, Bills are the best team since like Cowboys in '93, or there's only so much you can say. And honestly, like, I've heard the Bills bloviating like for the last like 6 months. Like on NFL Network, I saw their analysts were doing the Super Bowl picks. Like 10 out of 10 people picked the Buffalo Bills. Like, bro, that AFC is going to be a gauntlet. Let's see when the weather gets cold what happens. Freshness, what's up, my man? Knox gigantic Coca-Cola on me. Appreciate it. Yeah, they're up to $2 a liter, which is kind of wild. Yeah. The past statistics, like, it's the past statistics, like, I've just never liked that stuff. It's like, listen, if you want to bet the Bills, bet them for the matchups, bet them for their injury report looking solid that week, bet them because you think their offensive line is going to hold up against whoever's defensive line. But just like pulling the statistics out of the air, like, it doesn't really matter. Not every week one opponent is created equal. Not every week one is the same thing. And then, like, I was actually surprised that the Super Bowl record was that good for teams coming off a Super Bowl, given that teams normally die after the Super Bowl. Zamora 6090, thank you for the $5 donation. Did a $10 parlay. What do you think? Tampa Bay -2, Minnesota +2, 49ers -7, Cleveland +2. Also, do you have a PayPal we can donate? So PayPal don't take a fee from the super chat. Yes, I do have a PayPal. I thank you for the insight. I will post that in the description on the next video. I like that. The Cleveland +2 it is one I'm watching. Tampa Bay -2. It should be good, but with parlays, it'll go 3-1, 4-1, and then you'll lose on one because obviously there's going to be some shit hitting the fan this week. I mean, yeah. So I actually like that parlay, but like I said, the math on the parlay is never beautiful. I didn't say bet the Rams. Go watch what I said. I said I'm not betting the game. I said I wasn't going to bet the game. To whoever sent that in. So that's good. All right. Let's get to the Patreon question. Adrian, a mini parlay, Raiders money line, Rams money line, Finn's money line. How you feeling? I wouldn't do the Raiders money line. I wouldn't do the Raiders money line. Will say Chow. How do you like this? Bucks -1.5, Ravens -7.5, Dolphins -3.5. Yeah. That Dolphins one moving the -3.5 was another one of my complaints about the lines. I like that, but like I said, like if it's a parlay, then but I like it. Ravens -7.5 is one I would be worried about, even though the Ravens should come in and school them. Okay, Terry LaJoy, are you doing a live show on Fridays like last year? Yes, I am. Future on the Bucks over 11.5 games. What do you think? I would go under. I think they win 11 games flat out. I think they struggle a little bit. I think the division is tougher than people think. I think we're going to see Saints be really good this year, better than people think. So I got them at 11 games and look. So I'd go under that 11.5 games and look at their schedule. Their schedule is brutal this year, absolutely brutal. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's go to next question. Chad Hatcher. Do you have a bet from your past that still makes you mad? One you were so confident with and fell short. One I did last year that really made me mad was I had the Titans. I think they were -2 at the Steelers, and the Titans dominated the game. Steelers looked terrible, but the Titans also looked terrible. They had like 3 or 4 fumbles. They ran the ball down the Steelers' throat all day, but they couldn't complete a pass. Tannehill was terrible. And then they lost because they had like 4 turnovers in Heinz Field, and the Steelers played so bad that day. That was underrated. One of the worst games I watched last year. Who you got for anytime touchdown scores? Top 3? Let me think. Appreciate it, my man. Yeah, man, and it's the internet. It's YouTube. People always come on and like talk trash. So, especially because I have confidence, because they hate anyone who has any sort of confidence. So they just wait and wait until something doesn't go your way. But like, I didn't bet the fucking Rams, so like, I don't know why people are getting at me for that. Why didn't you go bet? You could have put the Bills minus 15 if you were so confident and such a genius. If you really wanted to. I got Jamar Chase against the Steelers. I got let's go with Miami, Tyreek Hill. And I had, if you want one with higher odds, Travis Etienne on the Jags, and then give me Nick Chubb on the Cleveland Browns. Those would be the anytime touchdown scores off the top of my head. Appreciate the donation, my man. Eldon Ronan. Hey, John, which team do you think are being overlooked and which teams are being overrated? Good luck this season. I think the Saints are being overlooked for sure. I did think the Jags were being overlooked until I saw the reaction this week. I think the Titans are going to struggle this year. That's one team that I'm not too confident in. I think the Vikings hype might be getting a little bit out of control, even though I think O'Connell makes the team better. Any team in the AFC West, I feel positive about. Although I do think the Broncos might struggle this year. We'll see how they are that first game. I think they'll do good the first game, but I think they might struggle. Panthers are a team that could overachieve. So that's where I'm at. I think Detroit's going to struggle more than people think. So those are just some ones. Lauren Kaiser. Hey, Lawson, we're back. I can come on in like 20 minutes if that's good. Yeah, sounds good. Send me an email, and then I'll send you the link. I'm just trying to get through the Patreon questions. Here we go. Let me get to the next question. This is from P. Should Kittle being hurt scare us with the San Francisco spread? I don't think that will be a factor in this game. I'm not picking the 49ers due to George Kittle going off. I'm picking them due to better offensive line play, better defensive line play, and the lack of options for Justin Fields. I really think that Bears offensive line is the worst in the league. This is tight of CPT. Here's my haymaker. Browns plus 2.5. Steelers plus points. Raiders plus points. Chiefs money line, Ravens, points first half from 49ers, first half, and Eagles points. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man, it's long shot for a reason. Manuel Jimenez, why is Miami not a super lock this week? Because the hoodie Bill Belichick, because the hoodie Bill Belichick, he gets so much credit, man. And at this point, it's more lore, it's more folktale than what's happening. I think the Pets are a bad team. And, Bill might get it figured out because I still got respect for him. But that team is bad, man. And what's going on at offensive coordinator is really, really scary. I don't like what's going on there. I'm really, really worried about it. And for me, man, it's just the Patriots pixie dust is something you will find. Like last year, they had a resurgence, but they weren't all that good. And then we saw how bad they were 2 years ago. I think Miami's not a super lock because of Bill Belichick, allure, and pixie dust. We did see they traveled to Miami earlier this week. Maybe that will help. I'm not sure. When did I say the Rams got better? When did I say the Rams got better? When did I say the Rams got better? I respect the opinion, but I didn't say the Rams got better. Who would say the Rams got better after losing Odell Beckham and Von Miller? Come on now. And after losing Andrew Whitworth, a fucking Hall of Famer. They lose 2 Hall of Famers and 1 elite receiver, and they got better. Come on, bro. And you're attacking someone for one game. Like it's just like lame as fuck. I said not to bet the game. If you bet the game and you're fucking crying, that's too fucking bad. Grow the fuck up. This is a fucking game where 56% will make you rich. 56% will make you not have to go to a job. 56%. 56%. Grow up. You have to go to your 9 to 5. While I'm placing bets, why I hit over 60% on Patreon last year, while you're going to a job, sitting in traffic 2 hours a day, I'm sitting on the fucking beach reading injury reports. I fucking bought 2 new chains this offseason. So understand gambling. Understand how this thing works. Stop being a newbie. Stop putting words in people's mouth. 56% will make you a rich man in this game. I repeat, 56% will make you rich. If you don't understand that, you shouldn't be gambling. If you don't understand there's games you should lay off, like maybe the first game of the week after the Rams lost 3 damn near superstars, then I don't know what to tell you. The football knowledge is lacking. It's just like we always have to deal with this because we get the newbies in here. And it's just it's good, man. And the subscribers going up is all well and good, but it's just like it just gets frustrating after a while. And yeah, like he didn't like last year was ridiculous. It exceeded my expectations. I'm like. People who come on, like Michael Mann got me on games. Lauren Kaiser got me on games last year. Like, okay, like some people are going to be right. I don't have a fucking crystal ball. I'm not fucking Nostradamus. And if that man even existed. And it's just like, I'm just sick of degenerates and I'm sick of like newbies and I'm sick of people who are unhappy with their lives. Really frustrated. And like, dude, I get it. Like this world is really, really fucking difficult right now. Like I completely get it. I completely get it, but you don't need to take that out on me. Like, take it out with people who have power. And like I said, if you don't understand 56%, how 53%, that's how Marty retired to the Caribbean. Yeah, and week one's gonna be unpredictable. I mean, I shouldn't get it given to the trolls. Like, I just shouldn't. But like, people need to know that. Like, if you're 56% against the spread, like you will not need to work if you know how to manage your money. You will not need to work ever again. That's just the facts of it. Yeah, man. Sorry, but Lauren, I'm gonna get you on. I gotta just get to these Patreon questions. Lauren, I'm not okay. I see freshness. I'm gonna get freshness on. I'm gonna get Michael Mann on. I'm gonna get Lauren on. I see Keith Fikes wants to come on. Let me get to the Patreon question, dude. I'm about to fucking have a fucking whatever they call it. Jesus, I haven't done that, man, in like fucking like a year. I let that guy get to me. Here we go. Didn't really get to me, but some things need to be corrected because a lot of people here are here damn serious trying to get money. Hey, John, our sports book, my bookie, AG got a line there on the spread right now. Rams at 8 plus 8.5 for minus 300. Jesus. My bookie is getting shaky, man. They're getting shaky. I used 3 other books, but they're getting shaky. I went to go put a teaser in this week just for fun. They didn't even have the teaser on. Harold, doesn't your father always say don't bet week one? Yeah, my dad he's not a big week one guy. Like, he likes watching the games, but he doesn't like betting week one. Yeah, Courtland, I will. Listen, I like getting heated a little bit. It makes me fucking feel alive. And plus it's like 95 degrees where I'm at, so it doesn't take much to set me off. Frito, welcome back, Lawson. What website do you watch all the games? I will comment to you, Frito, because I don't want to get a copyright violation or anything along those lines. Let me go to Game Pass, Reddit, NFL. I responded to your comment. Frito. Carter Flowers, Dolphins are up to minus 3.5 in my book. Do you think I should buy the hook and take it? Yeah, that's one where you might need to buy the hook, but just let me know what it is and send another comment. But you should be good. But yeah, buy the hook on that, because I remember a lot of people on my Patreon page got did because I put in an early bet. I don't remember who the Chiefs were playing. It opened at like minus 2.5. I put it in early because I knew that one was going to move. And then it got up, to minus 3.5. And a lot of people got hooked. There's nothing worse than that minus 3.5 hook. Will Seychow. How y'all feel about my picks? Denver minus 6.5, Ravens minus 7.5, Eagles minus 4.5, Miami minus 3.5, 49ers minus 7.5. I don't like that 49ers at 7.5. Try to get that lower. But I'm fine with it. It probably will be a blowout. That's one, if I'm wrong on, people can get at me. Denver minus 6.5. Yeah, I get it. It's good. But we'll see what Seahawks do. Probably not much. Eagles minus 4.5. That Eagles one, be cautious on. Listen, I thought with all the Hard Knocks hype, we would be seeing the Dan Campbell stuff. I felt like we would see the Dan Campbell Hard Knocks hype push that down to Lions plus 2.5, Lions plus 3, but it's going the opposite direction. And that's one thing where that might be too much to bet, but yeah. Okay. This is from Robert Filage. Hello, I'm totally new here on YouTube channel and here at Patreon. And for now, I didn't figure out exactly how this thing works. So far, I played, okay, but I will send you a message because I don't want to give away. Ryan says, wow, Stafford and the Rams looking terrible. Allen looking like a hero already. Now I see why Donald wants to retire. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is from Alan Corrales. I'm bullish with the Raiders. Do you think they win or cover the spread? I actually think they cover against the Chargers. I'm not betting it. For me, man, I'm high on the Raiders and Chargers. I actually think if everything goes good for the Chargers, I actually think they could be a team to challenge the Bills. And the Raiders, they might have the best offense in the league. They really might have the best offense in the league if everything goes together. And then which game do you consider safe to bet with the spread? Dolphins, 49ers, or Ravens? Dolphins. No, 49ers. It's back down to -6.5 on a lot of books. I gave my who you got for locks on anytime touchdown scores. Jamar Chase. I gave I like Justin Jefferson on the Vikings. I gave some others. I think Lauren's going to come on and say something about that. Yeah, Deion Connolly. I think it's really important that a lot of bettors understand you can bet alternative lines when the lines do shift to get your original bet. Yeah, I agree. I don't like losing the payout, but at a certain point, we can't be greedy. Paulie, forget about it. Incidentally, looking forward to the year. Thanks for doing what you do. Tons of value to your insights. Thank you, my man. Dove, 1,565. I think the Texans will win with Mills. Woo, upset. Big upset there. And in the preseason. Also, the clock struggled with Matt in the preseason. Okay. This is from Deion Connolly. I also love the AFC South under that you made on your video you posted this week. I tweaked it a little bit, gave myself a 4 to 6 point allowance and created a 3-leg parlay. Send me that on Instagram. I'm curious. And what's up, my man? All right, I'm going to get people on. If there's a Patreon question I missed, send me a message on Patreon and I'll answer it personally. My bad. I got a little bit distracted with everything. Okay, so I'm going to start sending the links out to people in my email address. And I'm probably going to go for a while, so I'll get everyone on. Copy the clipboard. Okay, goddamn. All right, so let me, where it, Lauren, where is your email? Lauren, I'm sending you a link to your original email. I lost your email you sent me now. So if you're still there and you can come on, if not, I got Michael Mann, I got Key coming on, I got Freshness coming on. Let me get Freshness on real quick. Freshness, he likes to come on and talk his shit and go. My man, I remember when Freshness came on last year, he gave a money pick on an over-under. Check your email, my man. Okay. I'm going to start getting to some questions on the YouTube chat. Thomas. Oh, yeah, Lauren, it's good because I'm going to get Adam on. I'm going to get Michael Mann on, and I'm going to get Key on, so feel free. Normally, people are too shy to come on the first few weeks, and then as the season goes on, everyone goes. Yeah, I think Denver should win that. That is a little bit much on the road. So that's one. Jeff, what's up, my man? It's good to see you, man. Dude, love talking to you guys on Instagram. Yeah, Jeff, I hope everything's going good for you. I hope you're at home more this football season because, it sucks traveling for football. Dude, what's up, my guy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
It's good. It's good. And can anyone tell me if there's an echo? Because it sounds perfect for me. Yeah, I think it's perfect. So go on.
Listen, man, let me do a little timeout. I love your necklace, fresh haircut, love the sign, like the shirt. I like your new swag, and it's confidence. And that guy can go fuck himself, man.
Oh, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, man.
With that shit. So let me put some let me lift up some spirits here, and I want to tell you my story. I've never been to an NFL game. Okay,
I'm surprised by that.
check this out. So I'm doing bucket list shit this year, and I'm packing up tomorrow morning. I'm driving down to Dallas for Sunday night's game to watch the Buccaneers at Dallas. So,
dude, they say Dallas, the Jerry World, has the best atmosphere in the league.
yeah, well, you know I'm a Patriots fan, but once Tom Brady retired last year and then he came back, it hit me. I was like, man, if I can't believe I've never watched Brady play. So I made sure that I go get this out of the way, watch a game in Dallas and watch Tom Brady play. And I don't know if you noticed, did you see the Michael Jordan commercial yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Oh, so for those who watched the game on NBC, Michael Jordan had a Tom Brady commercial. And you should check it out. It's a small commercial. And I think Tom Brady's here to send a message, man. Watch out. I'm taking that -2. I think he's having some issues with his woman, and I think he's going to take it out on Dallas.
Yeah, well, dude, I didn't even know it was that deep until like my wife started going like on and on about it because it's like big news in Brazil. And like she knew like crazy like fucking details and like all this stuff. I didn't know it reached that point.
And I think in Brazil they probably like him more than they like her.
She's not as liked here as you would think.
But talking about the spreads changing, man, they are changing so fast, and it's actually very dangerous. For example, I took Kansas City 2.5. Kansas City's at 4.5, 5. That's a huge difference.
Fucking 6 now. We've been watching that for the last 2 months on Instagram, and it goes up every day, and I don't get it.
I sleep comfortably knowing it's 2.5, and I think Kansas City is going to win. And I think Kansas City is going to win by more than a touchdown. But still, from a betting perspective, I've lost quite a few bets by half a point last year. So and it hurts when you like. I'd rather lose and be blown out than lose by half a point. It's a sick feeling, you know. So
I'd rather be a Rams better last night than lose by half a point.
Yeah, and for example, I love your Miami pick 2.5. I think Miami should win, but 3.5. That's a bit.
I put it in early, and then and they come in, and then it's at -3.5, and then it's just like
And that guy that was attacking you through text messaging, you never said take the Rams. You said straight up, I'm staying away from this game, but you think the Rams could win this game. So I don't know what that guy's talking about. He needs to probably get his ear fucking fixed.
Right. Yeah, man. And I took the bait. I probably shouldn't have. It's funny though. Like
I took Buffalo yesterday, and I took the under. So I'm starting off a little bit hot. If I had to take, listen, I love your picks, and I have your picks as I've taken those 2 bets separately. I've parlayed them, and I really do like Kansas City. But money line, though, if you want to parlay, money line is your friend. I've realized this. Money line is your friend, especially when you're parlaying. That's just a little advice from someone who's been gambling for a few years. That's all I got to say.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else, my man? Enjoy the trip. I post some photos on Instagram.
We'll stay in touch, and I won't be that fan that jumps on the field naked and runs around. I ain't doing that.
Yeah, with the pink stuff. I didn't see the video, but
God. All right, man. We'll stay in touch, Lawson, man. Good luck, and let's eat.
Yo, have some fun, and like I'm looking forward to next week because Tuesday I'm gonna put more up early on Patreon just to
Oh,
avoid
one
that.
more thing. One more thing. It's just my opinion. I don't know if you like this line. Kansas City week 2 at home, 2.5 against the Chargers. I really do like that. Kansas City is a good home team. We'll talk about that next week, but I'm just
That's gonna
throwing
be
that.
a dog fight, man. I'm looking. This AFC West is great, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's do it. All right,
all
man.
right,
I'll let you get other callers in. Have a good time, man.
all right, man. You too.
Will do.
Okay. Yeah, he always comes in and goes hard. So here we go. Let me get to Key. I'm sending an invite. Michael Mandalorian, let me know when you can come on. Okay, let me get to some YouTube questions while I'm waiting. Okay. Michael Mann said he got the invite. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the love. Steelers Bengals prediction. I think Bengals win. Steelers cover. The Steelers O-line, though, has some serious issues. But I think the Bengals come out, and I think the Steelers cover it late with some garbage points. My question is, like, when are we going to see Pickett? I was shocked how Pickett played in the preseason. We know it's preseason. It doesn't matter that much, but okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm in.
so that's where I'm at. You got opinion on the Steelers Bengals?
Oh gosh, man, that's a tough one. It's a division game, so it's really hard to really narrow those two teams down for a winner, especially week 1. Obviously, I think the Bengals are going to win, but with Mike Tomlin at the helm, it's really hard to count them out.
Yeah. And let me just answer this. Do you have a course for sale? No, I don't. But just go look at the videos I did this off season. I've been having a lot of rants about some things I like and don't like in gambling. So I think you'll pick something up there. Yo, but how's everything been going, man? Like on the road a little bit, I see.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. It's been a long couple of weeks, but I'll tell you about it after the video. It's pretty good, dude.
Dude, that's good. And then like football's finally here. So like let's just cut to the chase. I'm sure people want to hear your opinion. Browns +2 at the Panthers. I've seen on some places it moved down to Browns +1.5. But most places it's +2. Do you got an opinion?
Yeah, dude, listen, I have us winning, but I do not feel good about this at all. For one, like when you have a rookie left tackle one-on-one with Myles Garrett, like you can never feel comfortable in that situation. At the end of the day, I think the Panthers just have more weapons on offense that'll be able to pull this out. Greedy Williams will not play, so that's a big win for us. So that'll help like Robbie Anderson, Shi Smith, Terrace Marshall, Christian McCaffrey. That'll help them get separation, get open, while DJ Moore is tangled up with Denzel Ward. So I just think the Panthers have more explosiveness overall. They may lose the majority of plays, but they'll have a few big ones that I think that'll give them the game, if that makes sense.
Do you still like that Panthers in the first half line?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, you can look at like, I think we were one of the like top 5 scoring teams in the first quarter of games last year. We do great in the first quarter of games. Like we've come out and, look at some of the scores at halftime last year. Like I think we were tied with the Bucks at halftime last year in the last game of the season, and we ended up losing by like 25. I believe we were tied with the Saints at halftime last season, end up choking that one away. We're good in the first half. Matt Rule can come up with good game plans in the first quarter, but his issue is he can never adjust. So I really like the Panthers to be winning at halftime. The other thing about that, too, is that if we're going to lose this game, like you've been saying, it's going to be because of the ground game. It's going to be because, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are running down our throat. And that won't start to kick in until the second half. I think the Panthers will come out early and start fast, and it'll take the Browns a second to like click into gear. But once the halftime comes around and you give Stefanski and Rule time to make adjustments, that's where I could see the Browns taking over this game. If we're going to lose, that's how.
That's about how I see it going. I'm excited to watch Baker Mayfield because, listen, the Baker Mayfield stuff, it does get annoying, but at least he's bringing some energy there.
For sure.
So I'm excited to watch Baker Mayfield. And this Panthers defense, man, they should be able to be good. I was really shocked about last year. I know the turnover, they didn't force as many turnover. Didn't they force like tons of turnovers in like the first 8 games and they just went dry? Like,
no, I actually read the other day that we were like, I think one of the bottom 8 teams in forcing turnovers. The Panthers were just very good at like shutting people down. Like, you remember that Vikings game when we played you guys, like, the Panthers defense absolutely balled out in that game for the majority of the game. I think we forced like 7 punts out of you guys.
no,
but
because you guys played good.
Yeah, but you know how many yards? Like, we gave up over 500 yards that game. And I walked away saying, "Oh my gosh, our defense played well." That's how badly our offense was playing and putting them in bad positions.
So, like, as a Panthers fan, are you like, where are you at with Matt Rule? Because RJ had a question. Like, are you eyeing head coaches at this point? Or are you just waiting for this to play out?
Listen, like, oh my gosh, at this point, if we start like 0-2, then getting Matt Rule fired is my end game for the rest of the season. That is my only purpose after week 2 if we lose the first 2 games of the year. I won't lie. I've liked some of the things that Rule has come out and said during this offseason. I still disagree with many things he does. Like, you've been saying how our offensive line has looked like trash in the preseason, which you're right, it hasn't looked great. But if you look at the lineups and how Rule's actually playing this, like, he has the wrong players in the wrong positions, and it's been a problem for years with him. Like, it's just things like that. Like, he doesn't know how to use his personnel. Like, the person who should be starting, Bozeman, he was the center for the Ravens last year. He was a beast with them, but he's on our second string right now in favor of Pat Elflein, who we have already seen suck. So that's just one example.
6'6". Send me a message on Instagram. I'll help you out with it. Yeah. I agree. And like, and Christian McCaffrey coming back is a wild card. So like, that's why this game like isn't a money pick for the Browns. Just because of that, I'm worried about that if I was a Browns better.
Yeah. And I know you've been saying how the Browns defensive line could possibly take over this game, but I don't really know if that's going to happen. Because if you look at the strengths of the Browns defensive line, it's on the outside. It's Jadeveon Clowney and it's Myles Garrett. And if you look at the Panthers offensive line, the one place where they're actually not bad is at the tackle position. So you put Taylor Moton one-on-one with Clowney, I think he can handle that. You put Ike Mekwonu and give him a chip blocker, like a tight end just to chip Garrett so Ike doesn't get beat by a speed rush, then I think Ike with his strength can at least like hold his own against Myles Garrett for the time being.
Issue I'm worried about, the only thing I'm worried about in the Browns defense is the linebacking core because they don't cover well. And, you know, if they're not going to cover well, give me like a guy like Brandon Spikes, how he used to be for the Bills. He would just get in the A gap and stop the run. That's where I'm at. And like Greedy Williams, I was expecting a big year out of him. This injury took me by surprise because
I was shocked he was out.
Yeah, so
that might be because that was worrying me. Like, I was worried about how these Panthers receivers would get open against this Browns secondary. But now that he's out, like, that really creates an opportunity for Robbie Anderson, you know, for Terrace Marshall, for Shi Smith, some of those other guys like on the depth chart underneath DJ Moore, who I think can actually ball if given the opportunity, if they show up.
Yeah, like so I think you cover that game good. Is there anything else you're watching? Like, what do you think about the Saints? Do you think I'm crazy? Think the Saints are going to be good?
You ought to get Lauren in here. I know she was in the chat lurking. Did you send her an invite?
Yeah, I did. But I'm just curious. And Johnny Gonzalez, I want to get you on. I sent the link to him. So I think Lauren can't stay long. So okay. I'm going to get, but yeah, I don't know where she went. She says she's like driving or something. Gotcha. But like, so what's your opinion about the Saints?
Well, listen, like, I believe you had that as a borderline money pick, right? For the Saints to cover. Okay. All right. Well, you're right. The Saints are theoretically 5 points better than the Falcons. But I think something a lot of people don't get is that Falcons-Saints is like a legit rivalry in the NFL. I've seen too many terrible Falcons teams go into New Orleans and steal wins when they have no business to throw any kind of money on this game. And I think you know that as well. So, like, I mean, yes, the Saints are 5 points better. Yes, it should be a money pick. But just given the history of these two teams and how they play each other, I would stay away from it if I was better.
That's kind of how I was thinking. And I actually like Arthur Smith. because while I was watching games this offseason, I really like the way he handles games. Like, I know he's like a whipping boy now because he's like rude. But
I like him too. I'm just afraid that the talent on Atlanta isn't going to get better, and he's going to get fired for not producing wins when really it's not his fault.
Yeah, I agree.
And,
I'm gonna add Lauren to now. So what? Hey, how are you doing?
What's up? We're back.
Yeah,
Finally.
we were just talking about the Saints. How do you feel about that Falcons game?
Well, divisional games. Don't take it as a survivor. Ever.
So I was saying that like you guys are 5 points better than the Falcons, and I think you'd agree with that. But I was just saying with the history, like Saints-Falcons is a legit rivalry in the NFL. And I was saying because of that, you shouldn't underestimate Atlanta. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, there's just no Matt Ryan, but there's also no Sean Payton. So, I mean, this is going to be new. This is going to be new for everybody. Cam Jordan has had Matt Ryan's number for an ungodly amount of years, right?
Yeah.
So, but now it's Mariota. I don't really know what to think of Mariota. I like Mariota. I like the whole Hawaii thing. Like, I think that he deserves another chance. I think that, he's got something to prove. But I mean, outside of Kyle Pitts, I mean, what do we have here?
They're really bad.
Calvin Ridley, I mean, that's kind of shitty. So, for them, I think the Saints are going to win. I'm not saying it because I'm a homer, but I think they're gonna. Do you see it? Yeah.
No, I think we both agree with you. I'm not counting out Atlanta to possibly upset this.
No,
just given the history of these two teams when they play each other.
Yeah, I think we had their number last year.
Didn't they beat you last year?
I can't remember.
I thought.
Because Atlanta wasn't bad at times. I remember that last game. It was like week 15, week 16. The Saints
y'all destroyed them.
Raped them.
But I thought y'all had a game. I think the score was like 27-24.
We might have split.
Yeah, something like that. It was a competitive game nonetheless. But
yeah, and it always is. And it's game one. Week one. You're talking a divisional game right there, week one. So anything can happen. I think Jameis deserves this chance. He wasn't bad last year before he went out. He was 5-2, So I think that I think that he deserves another chance. So we'll see. He's not afraid to throw it. We know that, right?
I have an announcement. I don't know what week we're going to start, but I will have a player prop show. I'm going to do it with Lauren. I think we're going to start at like week 4, week 5. So that'll give us enough time. But yeah, so I think it's worth doing because player props are big now. They're fun to bet. I would rather bet player props than do fantasy. So that's where we're at. So we're ironing that out like coming in like 4 or 5 weeks. So
yeah,
there's a couple divisional games this week.
There is
in Pittsburgh, right? New England and Miami.
Which I think we are all on the Dolphins, are we not?
Yeah.
Is everyone on the Dolphins for that?
I won't take that as a survivor either, but
I wouldn't. But I'm just saying, I'm picking them to win.
I am too. I'm picking them to. What is that? 2.5.
I think it's in that. Yeah, it's like that 2 or 3 range.
Oh, 3.5. Oof.
Yeah.
But, I would have liked it better at 2.5, but yeah, I definitely think that. I think Miami is going to win. I think Cincy's going to win, but Mike Tomlin's another Shanahan, Peyton type of Belichick-y individual that you can't. I think it's going to be closer than this. What is it, like 6.5 or something?
It's 6.5, yeah. And I did see a lot of action was going for the Bengals to win in the cover. So
yeah, I don't like that.
Betting against Mike Tomlin's.
The only problem is if you're betting on the Steelers that you have to throw money on Trubisky.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's hard.
But I'll tell you, this is the most talent Trubinsky, if I even said that right, This is the most talent he has had around him ever.
Bro, the Steelers wide
Wow.
receivers, they got some dogs, but I'm worried about the offensive line.
Yeah,
I
the
think
offensive
that's why I
line
think
is a
it's not
problem.
starting.
This is the most talent they've had. First of all, I'm the biggest Burrows fan, right? Nobody but me had them beating Tennessee in the playoffs.
Oh my
Nobody
God.
but me had them beating Kansas City. We can talk about it for a second. Nobody but me had them beating Kansas City. They did cover in the Super Bowl. They didn't win. I was sad, but whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm the biggest Cincy, fan, sort of, just because of Burrows. Yeah, they're gonna win. I think that between Mixon and they fixed what they needed to fix, right? So you were right about their O-line last year and all the stuff that they needed, that they needed to fix. They fixed a lot of that. They had a good draft. They made some good moves. The O-line seems to be better. I think they only can get better.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, if he can do what he did last year, don't count out T. Higgins. He's still there. There's a plethora of people to throw to, and Mixon's going to ball.
Well, we can talk about another game because I know that's what people want to hear about. But with the Steelers, I feel like the main problem that they have is that they're in a bad division to be rebuilding in. Because if you look at where the Bengals are and where the Browns are and where the Ravens are, these are all teams that are competing for Super Bowls now, and the Steelers aren't really at that point, and it's hard to rebuild in that kind of in that kind of condition. But,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I think Baltimore too. If they get all their people healthy, which looks like they're going to, Lamar's contract thing is as aggravating as Baker finding a home this year. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they're going to be contenders again.
Well, I got a theory about the Ravens. I actually think they like Huntley. I actually think they might go with him and let Lamar go. Everyone's saying they're going to franchise tag Lamar Jackson 2 straight times. I don't know.
You think so?
I'm thinking so because last year their team had so many injuries, firstly. Secondly, he came in and he actually played pretty good. I remember he had 18 players out against the Bears in Soldier Field. He played good. I wouldn't do it, but I think they're plotting against Lamar Jackson. And I'm sick of people getting on Lamar Jackson for representing himself. That's one
Why?
thing. Because if you get a $20 million check, it's very difficult to write $2 or $3 million to an agent. That would be my opinion. And I don't think his fault of the agent is why he didn't get the contract.
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
So
yeah, I agree with you.
We'll see. That's one thing I've been hearing all offseason. He needs to hire an agent. It's ridiculous. I don't think he needs it, but he needs to know what he's doing.
Aren't there others that negotiate their own contract too? There's
Roquan Smith,
Bobby Wagner. Didn't he send out text messages to teams saying, "I want to come play for you this offseason," and that's how he found, his new team?
I'm curious to know how much Lamar wants.
I think he wants more than Kyler Murray. So.
And I think that's fair, but that's a very interesting place where he might fall in the contract negotiations. But Lawson,
today was supposed to be the day, for him.
Yeah. Nope. But
so what's your best bet of the week?
Well, I was gonna say, we might go down on this ship together, but I'm totally with you on the Jags upsetting Washington this week. I am 100% on board with that. You've talked about it a lot, but the Ron Rivera teams never start seasons fast at all. I can really point as far back as 2013, even when the Panthers were going, 12-4. Heck, even the year we went to the Super Bowl, we barely beat the 3-13 Jaguars. Ron Rivera teams just do not play well in the early weeks of seasons. And Doug Peterson has outcoached him in the past a few times. I really think he can do it again here, especially with the added talent that Jacksonville now has.
I'm in agreement. However, let's not forget Jacksonville can screw up a wet dream. Starting with the draft.
We've been pretty good at betting on the Jags,
Starting with the draft. They didn't take Hutchinson. Okay. So, which I thought was a bad move. But
Tavon Walker's a dog, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't look bad. I disagree with the pick, but
I agree. You need it right now, but
I'm with you. I think that we're going to see a big upgrade from Trevor Lawrence. Huge upgrade from Trevor Lawrence this year.
He's looked really good in the preseason.
Yeah, we're going to see a big upgrade. He's got Christian Kirk over there now. ETN is now going to have his first season because he was out last year. I drafted him in my fantasy. We'll see if that's
he's going to be a PPR god, I think.
Nightmare. Yeah, he's going to be a nightmare.
Especially, how long is James Robinson out? Because he's going to be taking like all the reps while he's in.
Addition by subtraction, in my opinion.
Correct.
They said like 5 weeks, but we'll see.
So I'm in agreement with the Jags. I love Minnesota. Nobody wanted to ride with me last year when I liked him against the Packers, but I think they should be favored.
I wouldn't favor them, but
I thought you were hyping up.
Gonna win.
I thought you guys were hyping up Minnesota a little bit hard this week. I won't lie. The fact that's in Minnesota helps, and we can't forget what Green Bay pulled the first week of last season when they played you guys, Lauren, and absolutely just got destroyed. They didn't even show up to that game. I guess it was ugly.
Like 37-3 or something.
Yeah, it was a blowout. It was a mess.
Yeah, it was. And so I don't know who Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball to either. I mean, I guess Tanyan Lazard doesn't even look like he's playing. I mean, I don't know. He had some sort of thing going on.
How is the Vikings run defense, Lawson? How's that come along?
Not good.
Okay, because I really think the Packers are trying to go to more of like a run-first offense, kind of like the Saints did in like the late 2015s, where they kind of switched once they got Kamara. I really think they're trying to create that two-head monster and make Aaron Rodgers more of a game manager almost and control games now, especially since their defense has come such a long way in the last few seasons.
Good,
their defense is legit good. They have a top 5 defense in the NFL.
Saints and Packers for me have like the most dogs on defense at this moment. Like they're ridiculous.
I think you're going to see a lot of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon on the field at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Which would be good. I like that. That's a tough backfield to account for.
You've got a supplement for Devontae Adams being gone. They both will catch a ball. Aaron Jones, you can throw far to him. You know, I think that this A.J. Dillon kid, you saw what he did at the end of last year. I think you're going to see a lot of them playing at the same time, which might be hazardous for a lot of defenses, you know. So you can't count them out. I do like Minnesota. You know, some things intrigue me. I like Miami. I love New Orleans this week to win. I don't know about the spread. I never really loved that. I like Pittsburgh to cover, even though I know Cincinnati's probably going to win. And something, maybe you guys can tell me if I'm wrong here. Does anyone feel like the Giants could cover this game?
Yeah, I think they will.
I could see an avenue for it to happen, but you're taking some chances if you're betting on the Giants. I won't lie.
Yeah,
that's a hard team to support.
It is. But here's the thing. So that line opened up at 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
you know what?
Down.
Honestly, if you're the most optimistic Giants fan, like you could legit talk yourself into thinking that the Giants are a wild card team. Because they have some good players who on their best day are like really good. But when you have people like Saquon and Kenny Golladay who are constant like injury risk, Daniel Jones who's always hit or miss, like you can't bet on that.
You can't.
Same thing with McCaffrey. You know, it's you're taking a huge risk in a lot of these situations. But I really feel like I'm missing something because the line has gone down, which means the pub. I don't know if it's the sharps or the public or what. They're going on to the Giants. So, and it did that early. So the line went down, and I feel like, you know, Tennessee has lost some players. So I'm a fan of their rookie wide receiver, but it's going to take some time. Just like you're going to see, you know, you're not going to see Chris Olave running up and down the field right away in the Saints. You know, Treylon Burke, this new kid in Tennessee. I don't know that he's going to be, a stud week 1, but he's definitely going to be significant. That whole trade thing was weird, right? But they didn't want to pay him. They just didn't want to pay him. Him going to the Eagles is dangerous. Eagles will win that division.
I think so too.
I'm gonna get a Cowboy fan on here, so we'll see what he has to say, because I do think the Eagles win it. All right, so last words, because I got to take a break, and then I'm gonna get some other people out.
I'm just curious, and I just want to hear. This is not betting related at all, but what do you guys think of Washington's new name, the Commanders?
It's terrible.
I think that's horrendous. I think that's a very bad name, especially because you had 2 years to think about it, and that's what you came up with.
I mean, I have no words for that. I think they could have definitely.
They could have done so much better on that.
Done better.
And they picked the worst possible thing.
They could have done better. I will tell you, I think Kamara's going to have a big week. I think Mixon's going to have a big week. I like the Chargers this week too. I think they've got some. The last team they faced last year that took them out was the Raiders. So
yeah, that's a game I'm staying away from too, by the way.
I agree.
Watch that for fun.
I agree.
Yeah,
it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think you're going to have a repeat of, the back and forth of last week. But as far as my favorite pick, I mean, I probably would have to say I was pretty high on Carolina until some people were talking me off of it. So I might be going. I might just stay away from it completely.
Yeah, and I would too. You know what it is though? I think because Deshaun Watson is out, people are forgetting how talented the Browns roster is as a whole. Even with Watson out, I still think the Browns are a much better team than the Panthers. But the problem is they have Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, and we have Baker Mayfield, who on his best day can play at a top 15 level.
Very true. And those two teams know each other, right? So, the quarterback knows them and he knows them. But I will tell you, I think probably Minnesota is my favorite pick. I think that they will come out. I think they will win straight up. The point.
I think Jacksonville's my best pick. Straight money line. If you're telling me pick your biggest dog for the week, I'm going Jacksonville.
I like them. It's hard to trust them. So I need to see I feel like I need to see a little bit from them before. I mean, when they haven't been relevant yet. So I think.
Hey, we've been, but keep in mind, we've quietly been really good at picking the Jags to win.
Yeah,
in Lawson,
because I watch them.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree, and they finished out the season really good.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I think. They had 3 wins last year, right? What was the one? Was it the Colts that you didn't see coming? Was that the one game that we missed?
Bills. They beat the Bills.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I think Lawson was on that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was on that, and we had a big one against the Dolphins. I had a college fun game when they were in London. That was the best feeling.
Oh, right.
But yeah, because the Jags always ball out in London. But no, I think I don't think you were on the Colts the last week of the season, but there was still a large contingent of fans who were, because the Colts simply can't play football in Jacksonville for some reason. And that was a game that a lot of people saw coming.
And
on
really,
this page, at least.
New England can't really play in Florida altogether. So
not last year. They kicked the crap out of the Jags last year. I think that was in Jacksonville.
So your lock is Jacksonville? Is that what you're?
Yeah, that doesn't sound good, but yeah. I'll go with Jacksonville for my biggest dog of the week.
Ooh, I guess I gotta say
I'm not gonna pick an easy bet.
I mean, Minnie's kind of might as well be a pick. 1.5. It's it might as well be a pick 'em. But if I was gonna pick a team to cover, I would say Pittsburgh. I think should come within the 6.5. I don't think they're gonna win, but I think they're gonna cover. I mean, something intrigues me about the Giants. I really don't know what it is, but something makes me feel like they might be a little bit better than their best game last year. So
the other thing we need to keep in mind too, this is week 1. This is literally the most unpredictable week of the season.
Everybody's
I wouldn't go crazy this week.
Yeah, I would not.
I made that clear on Patreon. Yeah, I think that's the lesson of this whole video. Don't go crazy.
Look at the game last night. I don't think anyone saw that coming.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, this is a good
that's
sprinkle
your
in the money.
AFC. That's going to be your AFC winners right there. I think. I mean, I'm not going to say that just because of one game. I just feel like they put all the puzzle pieces together, and did you see how many Bills fans were in that stadium?
Yeah, but that's California.
That's LA.
Welcome to California in
Well, Raiders fans are about to take over that LA stadium tomorrow or Sunday when they go there.
For sure.
I was going to ask your opinion on that before I dip out of here. I know we're getting.
Yeah, we got to go.
What do you think of that Devontae to Las Vegas?
I loved it, and honestly, that's why listen, I have a lot of Raiders fans, so I always try to stay a little bit positive about them. And they won us a lot of money. You hit the Raiders last year. We've been hitting Raiders games 3 years. But I honestly think they have potential to have the best offense in the league, which is fucking scary considering that their offensive line sucks. But I think they could be the best.
You're right, because
they're in.
They've quietly had a really good couple of receiving threats the last few years. And now you add a top 3 receiver to that mix. That's a heck of an offensive lineup you have over there.
And I don't think Hunter Renfrow is going to be quieter because Devontae's there. If anything,
it might make him more productive. Maybe not statistically, but in terms of, hey, I need you to get open against this corner now. He might be better than he was last year, just because
that's supporting cast Devontae Adams has had. And if Waller plays, that's hard to stop.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if I feel too confident about Josh Jacobs. I think he's a little bit injury prone, but
good point.
If they're going to be slinging the ball up and down the field, he almost has his pick of the litter of who he's throwing to. And I'll tell you right now, the Saints are going to be better with all this that they got going on. And if anything, if you think Taysom Hill is going to be paid $20 million to sit there as a tight end and not throw up a ball a couple times a day or run in for a touchdown like he does, like a bulldozer, you're crazy. So
I want to say something. When Mike was saying that the Giants have outside shot at the playoffs, which the NFC is like that. Mm-hmm. Saints over 8.5 wins, go bet it. Saints to make the playoffs, go bet it. That's the last thing I have to say. I'll let you guys have your last words for the week.
I'm good. I mean, you pretty much covered it. I'm not a big Saints supporter. I think Clearly. I could see a scenario where they only get 9 wins, because I think losing Sean Payton is going to hurt a lot more than people think, especially with how reliant Jameis Winston was on play action last year. And I think not having Payton could hurt him a lot, but their defense alone is enough to carry him to 8-9 wins. And not to mention, y'all always get a weak ass schedule.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's not fair.
I wouldn't say that when you're playing teams like Kansas City, Tampa twice. I wouldn't say that we have a weak ass schedule, but I think last year we had 8 or 9 wins, and we didn't even really have. 5 of them were with Jameis, in the beginning, and then we beat the Tampa with Trevor Siemian coming in.
Yeah, so, Tampa Bay cannot figure you guys out for the life of them, except in the playoffs.
Correct, right? The one game that mattered.
The one game, yeah.
The one game that mattered. Every other game we have had their number. Now, I will tell you, I do think the Saints are going to make the playoffs. I really also think Philly's going to win that division. I think the AFC West is like playing Russian roulette. I don't know what's going to happen out over there. I like Denver. I just think they are almost at the wrong place at the wrong time this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they're going to get kind of lost in the shuffle. I think they're going to be better. With Russ, it's obviously an upgrade. But I don't think they're going to come in and just win the division. Year one, I could be proven wrong, but there's way too many top dogs in that division that have been there for a while that are really lurking in. Like, for example, the Chargers. I think the Chargers win that division. It's ballsy.
Okay, have a good week. I got to take a break, so I'll see you guys
next week.
And let's get that player prop show going. My bad on it. I'll talk to you on it.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. See y'all later.
All right, thank you for coming on.
See you.
Good
Thanks
luck
for having us.
All right, guys. Bye.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to get to the YouTube questions. And then if Johnny wants to come on, I'm going to send him a message. Send me an email if you want to come on. I'll type my email. All right, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you for everyone who came on. Adam, Lauren, Michael, really appreciate it. Okay, Key, you ready? So it's just, I'm going to take a break, get some water, use the bathroom. And then I sent you the invite. So let me know if you got the invite, and then you can come on when I get back. Just like 3-4 minutes. Yeah, so I looked it up. They were 13-3 against the spread. And I brought that up to start the show because like lots of Bills talk, there's lots of Bills talk going there. So yeah, that was good. That was good. People like that. And it's interesting because I was actually reading before the show that was, I think, the best team against the spread ever. Even better than those Cowboy juggernauts. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Thank you everyone for joining tonight. I really appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. And Vatos Bulldogs. Yeah, man. I'm sending you the link. I'm sending Key the link. Yeah, well, Johnny, I'm ready for you. Let me get you on, then I'm going to get Key on. Yeah, Johnny, come on, man. I love talking to you. And we need to get the Cowboys. We need to get the Cowboys side of the Tampa Bay game. Because you're a Cowboy fan, but you are actually rational. Welch's McGee, Hard Knocks effect, laugh out loud. I'm from Detroit, and we are hyped. Yeah, Welch, but I thought the Hard Knocks effect would have more of an effect on the spread, not pull the spread the other way, because I think that opened at +3.5. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now it's +4.5. My question about Detroit is their defense. I think their defense is terrible. I don't know if it got any better. I don't know. My Instagram is Lawson NFL. Dude, my man, what's up?
How you doing?
Dude, like, it's good to see you, man. Everything good with you?
It's good. It's good. Everything's going good. Give me a sec. Let me try to mute the YouTube side because I'm getting double audio.
Sounds good. And Key, I'll let you get on after Johnny. My bad about that.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me? Pretty good.
Hear you good, man. Hear you good.
There we go. Yeah, man, everything's been good. I've been, I think I've stepped up my research game and line movement. I've been tracking a lot of line movement, so I think it's going to help a lot this year. That's one thing I never did last year. I think it's very beneficial.
Dude, the line movement is absolutely insane. This is the craziest week one I've seen in my life. So
Yeah, I think it's just because of week one. Week one NFL and a lot of like the sports betting industry is just like exponentially grown. It's just like boom since last season alone. You're seeing commercials for it, the new props in California, like Prop 26, vote no, vote yes. It's crazy. But it's exciting.
Dude, I saw like FanDuel and two other companies. They spent like $60 million to lobby there. Like, so it's blowing up, man.
I hope so, man. I'm having to use my locals. I have two separate like local accounts, offshore accounts, and I don't get the best lines, unfortunately. But once it becomes legal here, I'll be good.
So what do you think about? So what's your best bet of the week, and what do you think about that Cowboys game?
Well, I'll touch on the Cowboys first. I don't think we're going to be that good this year, and maybe I'm just being a little harsh just because I want them to do good, but I just don't. I mean, the receiving core has dropped down a lot. Our offensive line dropped down, and I don't think our defense was even that good last year. I think we got a lot of lucky interceptions that were tipped and stuff, but most of the time, what's his name, Diggs was getting burned. If he wasn't getting an interception, he was getting burned down the field. And everyone's giving him this praise. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad we got the interception, but what about the next two plays when he got burned for like 60 yards? So I don't know, man. I don't think our defense is that good, and I don't know if the Cowboys will be doing that good.
Yeah, man. And I thought like the losing Randy Gregory really, I know Randy Gregory isn't a star, but that kind of got me to the left. Like I was like, okay, this ain't going good. Yeah, but yeah, man, I agree with Trayvon Diggs. How's he going to get 11 INTs again? That's like impossible.
Yeah, I didn't understand the Amari Cooper thing either because I think he's probably better than Michael Gallup. And Michael Gallup has been injured more than Amari Cooper has. And the only reason why Amari Cooper didn't have as good as of a year last year is because Dak never passed him the ball. He wanted to get it to Zeke or Pollard. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the guy can't produce if you're not passing the ball as much. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, so what game are you betting on this week? What's your best bet?
So I think my best bet's going to have to be the under in the Tennessee and Giants game. I was already liking the under as it was. I saw you mentioned it in your video, and I looked over at the line movement, and it's odd that 75%, there's 59,000 tickets, and 75% of those are all on the over, yet none of the line is moved towards the over. In fact, it's moved a little bit towards the under. And a lot of sharp money is on the under. So I think the books and the sharps know that this is most likely going to stay under. So I'm going to probably hammer that under for sure.
No, I actually agree with that. And that's like, and they move the line if they feel like they're going to lose. So
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, man. I like
and
that.
I was looking toward that Cowboys and Tampa Bay game. I think the Cowboys do have a shot because it's going to be a shootout. But the thing that took me off is, one, because it's a Cowboys game. I shouldn't be betting my own team, just like you're not going to be betting many, which I will be on many. But the line's going down. It's trending down. I don't understand why. And I'm wondering if it's just because the Cowboys receiving core, the offensive line or something. But I think Turpin, the new guy, the Canadian football star, I think he's going to have at least one receiving touchdown. So if someone wants to get an anytime touchdown from him, not receiving, a returning touchdown, special teams touchdown, I think he's going to return one to the house in the first season.
No, that dude's fast, man.
Yeah, he's a beast. So yeah, I wanted to take that over on that one, and the line movement took me off of it, and I just took it as a sign that I shouldn't be betting my own team. I'm not going to start my NFL season that way. So
So any other bets?
I took San Francisco last week. The line movement was starting to scare me a little bit. I think it went up to as high as 7, and now it's back down. I think there's a lot of, I just don't know about Trey Lance and how he's going to do, and if he's going to stay in the whole game, and how Jimmy Garoppolo will do if he does stay in the game and whatnot. But I'm locked in. I already took it in. I like the line a lot. I still think they win, but just the line movement kind of scared me, and then the whole quarterback situation. But I think they'll pull through. So I did lock in that one last week. I think And I'm on the Saints as well. I think the Saints will do some damage. They usually do really well in the first game of the season. They just do well, I think.
Yeah, man. I think Saints start fast. I know people are worried about Sean Payton going, but listen, I don't think their offense is going to be as good. But what they're going to do, they're going to run the ball, use play action, and their receivers are nasty. So I don't know if Mike Tomlin.
I'm a fan of Jameis Winston. I love Jameis Winston. I think he's going to kill it this year. Honestly, I really do.
Yeah, he was good last year until he got hurt. So
right, exactly. Yeah, so those are the few games I'm looking at right now, or that I did lock in already. There's a few other ones I want to lock in, but I haven't pulled the trigger just yet. Like, I want to pull the trigger on the Eagles, but there's a lot of money coming in on the Lions. I think that's pretty sneaky. And I think the Lions actually might be way better than last year.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what I got so far. What are you thinking about this NFL season?
Yeah, dude, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to go. It should be a fun season, man. So I'm ready to go.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. I think all the NFL teams are completely different now. It's just going to be a complete, like, I think any team is going to has the potential to be like shocked what everyone else is thinking they're going to be.
Yeah, man. I'm ready to go. And then we're gonna see some crazy shit this week, and then people are gonna overreact, and then that should set up better lines each week. So I'm already seeing line movement in week 2, week 3. So
yeah, I think week 2, week 3, we can make a lot of money because of the recency bias that people are gonna have on week 1 and week 2, and that's just perfect scenario for us to just pounce in on the other side. Yeah, just like college in week 1 and whatnot. So
yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to it. Yo, any last words?
No, that's it. Just go light this week. You already said it earlier. It's week 1. Don't go crazy. I started watching some. I'm not a big college football guy. I started watching some college football, and but there's a lot of people betting on it. They're like, oh, pump this. I'm just like, you guys, it is week 1, and sure enough, there are some crazy upsets.
College football is unpredictable, and plus, the spread's not important. 4 points in an NFL game is completely different than 4 points in a college game.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
But that's my whole thing. Just keep it light, bet smart, do this to make money, not for action. There's a completely difference in that. A lot of people like the action.
Yeah, you're not going to change people.
Right. Yeah, that's all I got for now, man. Good luck to everybody, and let's catch some tickets.
All right, bro. Appreciate it, man. Hit me up on Instagram.
Will do, buddy. Good luck.
Okay. Let me get Key in first, and I'm gonna get Vatos Bulldogs. What's up, man?
What's up, homie? How you doing, man?
Dude, how you doing, man?
Man, you ready for the season, man? You know how it goes.
Dude, it's been a long wait, so
I know we talk all off season. And we talk about all the other stuff, and now let's get to the nitty gritty,
Yeah, man. The off season is way too long. Around May or June, you start getting to the point where you need football. So at least we're here. So and I think people are going to be going crazy with the bets this week 1 just because of that. So.
Guilty.
Yeah, dude, people are going to get it in, and then if you can go 500 and move on to next week, that's good. So what are you betting this week?
Now, before I get into it, I heard shout out to Lauren, Mike, shout out to them. I live in NFC South country too, but Saints is the money pick. I'm not even worried. When they played at Atlanta, I don't care who the quarterback was. It was Travis Simeon, and they blew him the fuck out.
Yeah,
right. I'm not worried.
And the Falcons are really bad.
They are.
Yeah, man. And then what do you think about the Saints defense? Do you think they're as good as I'm saying, or you think I'm going a little bit?
Yes, sir. Now I'm sure you probably heard an episode of the podcast I mentioned. The trenches is all that matters. Now the Falcons, throughout the history, they tried to upgrade this offensive line through the drive, right? Don't they have Bruce Matthews' son? And he's not even doing good. So it's not like they haven't tried. But when you got Jordan, you got Davenport, You got those guys. And don't forget the Honey Badger can play in the box too. The Mario Davis, they have players that can run sideline to sideline. And the Falcons, I mean, you worry about Drake London with a bummed out knee and Kyle Pitts. Patterson every here and there, okay, but I still see this Falcons team struggling. Defense, they're really slow. Other than AJ Terrell, who can you really say they have on defense?
Yeah, and they kept like Deion Jones, and they let like Olaquakwan go, and then and then I'm looking at, and the one thing, my problem with the Falcons is like you said, trenches, like offensive line sucked last year. Like, dude, we got some good money picks from the Falcons last year to cover, but that was against teams that weren't good in the trenches. So
Yeah, you're right. And this matters, man. And like maybe I get a little ahead, but I will say it right now. I got Saints money line versus Tampa. That will be the indicator because every time that line shows out, and I watched a little bit about this upcoming game. Cam Jordan was on an interview with CBS Sports, and he was like, everyone's overlooking us because they look at that other team. So I think there's a lot of motivation with the Saints team. You got Michael Thomas. I mean, everyone is back. I was worried about Alvin Kamara not playing because of suspicion, but he's playing. So I do feel like this team is going to do good. Jameis Winston doesn't have to go 4 or 5 touchdowns, but I do think this is the revenge game because we all remember it. He never had a good team facing Mariota, right? Oregon, we saw what happened with Florida State. We saw with Tampa, with Tennessee. I think this is a get-back game for him. And this is a divisional game, but I'm not really worried. Like you said, you can't overthink these games. How long have I been talking about Saints covering -5.5? How long? I've been saying it. I've been really consistent. So to me, that's the top tier money pick for me.
bro, one game I want your opinion on. I want your opinion on Raiders at Chargers. So you probably heard my opinion. Like, I'm just kind of like sighing at that game. You got a read on it, or are you staying away?
It's a stay away game, but as I probably have mentioned before, I think the Raiders can win this game. It wouldn't be shocking to me. I think there's both questions on both sides. Everyone talks about, oh, Justin Herbert, oh, they got Khalil Mack, but I haven't seen this defense get tried in the trenches in the run game. And the Raiders are going to run the ball. They let it know all this preseason. Even when they got rid of the Alabama offensive lineman, they were still running the ball. So
it's good they got rid of Leatherwood. That dude is fucking trash, man.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna say, what is it, Mike Mayock? He's not a good draft analyst in NFL Network. Then when he went into the Raiders, I was like, where is this coming from?
And then he was just taking heat for Chucky. Like they only got their dogs like 4th through 7th round. Look at their first rounders. Like, so I mean, if McDaniel had a good offensive line, I would actually like be betting the Raiders. Like, that's my only question. But like you said, Chargers are soft. And then like Brandon Staley, man.
I like, he's a fucking risk taker.
Yeah. Go on. What's your opinion on Brandon Staley? Because that's why I don't even want to like touch Chargers games, because I know the media likes him, and he's kind of got like that Bugman like type vibe that they like. But like that guy, man, I don't know. He gives me the heebie-jeebies. Yeah.
He's a risk taker. I remember that game against the Chiefs, right? When they went for it on 4th down in their own territory, and then it bit them in the ass. I do like some of the risk taking, but when you start talking about the analytics, I really don't give a damn about analytics. Now, don't get it twisted. If I'm on your territory and it's 4th on the goal line, I don't get it. Okay, because at this point, then hey, you're back to behind your own end zone. But when I'm in my own territory on the 20, the 30, the 40, unless it's not like a minute left in the game and I need to go for it, I'm not going for that if I trust my defense. But that tells you he didn't trust his defense either. I mean, and you're a defensive guy. I always had issues with those type of people. You're a defensive guy, but you don't trust your defense. That's when I have an issue.
I had an issue when he was saying they make the decision once they get the drive. He said this in an interview. Once they get the ball, they make a decision if they're going to go for it on 4th down. Like this analytics stuff, it's all great, but like you said, football is about feel. And like, listen, he's the reason why they weren't in the playoffs. He threw that Raiders game away. He threw the Texans game away. They got did by the Texans, bro. Like,
That messed up my teaser on that one, so I already know. And the Raiders game, call me crazy when I was watching that game. When they were like 4th and 16, did you see how the Raiders were letting them go down the field? It was like, and you see at the end of the game, he was like, I was going to let it be a tie.
It looked like the Madden game, bro.
Yes. It was just like when they threw it, they didn't even contend for the ball. It was just, all right, we're going to let Mike Davis catch the ball, that's the first down. Because they literally took every 4th down for what? It was made by maybe a 10-play drive, but at least 3 or 4 of those plays were 4th down. They were going for it, and they were letting them get it. So that was a sign right there. I mean, I don't understand the guy, but the AFC West will be tough. Now, what I will mention though that a lot of people aren't talking about, I don't know about J.C. Jackson's playing, and if he's not playing, you tell me who's going to cover Devontae Adams, because every time I see, as a Packer fan, I've seen Devontae Adams get covered. It doesn't matter who it is. Right, everyone talks about Jalen Ramsey. Well, look what he did last night, but Devontae did it 2 times against him. It doesn't matter who the best corner is; he's going to go head up.
Yeah. Give a shout out to your podcast.
Yes, podcast, man. Pays and Plays podcast, guys. Check it out. I cover college. I cover NFL. I will be covering NBA. If you like the way Lawson talks, I talk pretty similar with the X's and O's. Also, it's just another input on games. I do have money picks. Also, I will mention I do love the 49ers. I love that spread. I love it. -6.5. I think that's free money.
It'll go good, man. I mean, but yeah, it's week 1. There's going to be like 3 crazy things that happen at minimum.
Oh, yeah.
I just hope it's not on that one.
Oh yeah, I took majority. So I also got the Miami. I took them at -2.5. I took it before everyone started buying them. And I think the reason why I understand why you feel about the line movement, I know somebody that is definitely like a sharp better, and he tells me all the time, like, look, I just put this in, so don't be surprised if the number changes. And then I look a couple minutes later, it changes. So I'm aware of. I definitely line shop. It's important you guys to line shop because, hey, if somebody can see you beat me at -7. Take it, because next thing you know, it may juice up to 7.5. It may juice up to 8. And then if I cover, then people are sick. You need to just go ahead and pick that line. So that's really how I try to encourage people. If you see something, like it, because it's not going to be there pretty soon. That's how I look at all the spread stuff.
Yo, thank you for coming on, my man.
No problem, man. All love. Peace.
Yo, have a good weekend.
You too, man.
Okay, I'm gonna go for 15 more minutes. Getting tired. I'm gonna get Vato on here.
Give me a second.
What's
hold
up,
on.
my man? Thank you for waiting. My bad about that.
Hey, give me a second though. I'm at work, so just give me like a minute.
Yeah, no problem.
I gotta get some keys. Hold on. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I muted you. So when you're ready, just turn on your camera again. All right. Yeah, dude, I like Vanilla Ice vape. I like Minnesota Geo to pull the upset. And make sure you guys hit the like button before you leave. Really appreciate it. Santa Claus says, I like the play on words. Week 1 is so weird. It feels like a bad spot for the Niners. Bears, new coach, new GM. They'll suck, but they'll keep it close. Also, we've had so much time to think about it. That's also another problem. Because if we think about any game in the NFL, if you think about it in a rational way, when you're looking at the spread, you could make a list of why one team will win. That's +16. All things per now. What's up, Lawson? What's up, my man? How you doing, man? Good to see all of you guys in here again. I really appreciate it. Let me get to some. Let me see if I missed any Patreon questions. Okay. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, yeah, actually, I'm gonna call it a night. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. Vato, send a message on Instagram. I'll answer your questions because you said you had some questions. So I'm gonna get off. We're about 2 hours in here. Everyone have a great weekend. Let's get this money. Thank you.